Hey guys, welcome back to the Messy Keto Kitchen, except for today we're going to be doing this on my couch. I'm going to be breaking this up into a 3-part series, answering your most commonly asked questions. These are all viewer submitted questions, and I think we actually got the majority of the frequently asked questions in these segments. So stick around, I will answer all of your questions right after this. We all know that there is like a sea of information out there, especially with the advent of the internet. And so what my hope was is to ask you guys what questions that you had or that you may have had early on that might help other people. And then I'm going to go ahead and answer them to the best of my ability. I am not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm nothing like that. These are just based on my experience and my research. Okay. So the first question that gets asked quite a bit is, how many carbs can I eat? Well, there's kind of a general rule of thumb where you'll hear people say 20 to 25 grams, and that's an easy way to go. That's an easy, you don't have to think about it, you can just shoot for that number. That depends on who you are though. Some people have a higher threshold for carbohydrates, their percentage is going to be different based on how much their starting weight is, etc. So that number can change depending on your current weight and what your goal weight is, etc. So usually the range is going to be 20 to 50 grams. Some people can do more, some people can do less. If you're looking for a baseline, I would say stick between 20 and 25 and you will be well on your way. A follow-up question to that is people ask, should I count net carbs or total carbs? I would say early on, go ahead and focus more on the net carbs because it's going to be an adjustment for you to, subtract the fiber out to get my net carbs, and I don't want to give up vegetables right now, and not that you have to, I'm just letting you know. But all of that kind of stuff, it's a little bit easier to do early on, having that wiggle room. As you go a little bit further, I would recommend maybe focusing a little bit more closely on total carbs. I tend to see the best results when I do focus on total carbs, but it's completely up to you. In the end of the day, net carbs will be just fine, okay? All right, let's see what we got next. Do I need to count calories? Yes, short answer is yes. If any of you saw my previous video, how calories really work in your body, you'll know that in the end of the day, any diet that's going to help you lose weight is going to be about creating a calorie deficit. And so calorie deficit still pertains to keto. So yes, you do have to manage your calories. It's usually a little bit easier when you're eating this amount of fat. It keeps you more satiated. However, it is not a free-for-all. It is not, oh, all I have to do is eat fat all day and I'll be fine. I don't have to count anything. Now, my recommendation is to count early on. And then as you start getting more in tune, maybe you don't have to count as frequently, or you can start looking at it as a week-long basis versus just a day-to-day basis and see how your body reacts to it. I don't think most people want to track every day of their life forever. Some people are a little bit more structured, but just so you know, early on, until you get the hang of it, until you know how your body's going to react, just go ahead and track. You'll feel better that you did. Okay, is there such a thing as too much fat? I think we covered that in the last question. Absolutely. It's still about calories in, calories out. So if you are eating too much fat and you're going over your caloric threshold, absolutely, it is too much fat. You will not lose weight. You will more than likely gain it. So figure out your macros like we talked about. And if you don't remember, you can watch my video about macros and macro tracking and just make sure that you are staying at that threshold within your calories for your fat, carbohydrates, and your protein. Okay, do I have to exercise? You don't have to do anything, guys. I'm going to tell you this, though. Exercise is awesome. That's my opinion. You're talking to somebody who was a former refuse to exercise kind of person, and now the gym is my happy place. I'm not going to say that that's going to be it for you as well. Everybody's different. That's okay if you don't want to. However, you might find that you're going to want to. After your energy levels crank up, and they will, that's one of the beautiful parts about a ketogenic diet, your energy levels go through the roof, and all of a sudden, you have a lot more energy. You want to go out. You want to do more of those things. And so it's kind of a natural progression. The reality is that food plays a role it's like 85 to 90% of the total picture is the food that you ingest. Working out is just that extra cherry on top. I don't know if cherry's the best the best example, but you guys know what I mean. So anyway, yes, you do not have to. You will probably want to, and plus you'll see even better results. Exercise is awesome, and it has a whole ton of other, beautiful things that it does for your body. I don't know why I'm stumbling over why exercise is so good, but you will see a lot of great stuff that it brings besides helping you dial in your diet goals. How do I know that I am in ketosis? So everybody's a little bit different with this, but there's some telltale signs. You've probably heard of people talking about keto breath, and that is a real thing. And so don't worry, it doesn't last forever, but it has kind of an acetone fruity taste in your mouth, and it's really annoying. And so when you're getting into ketosis, that's going to be happening in your mouth. So don't worry, you can pop a sugar-free piece of gum, make sure you're staying hydrated, and maybe just don't be a close talker, which you should never be anyway, but especially when you're getting into ketosis. You'll also notice that your cravings start to diminish quite a bit. Your energy levels start to go up. After you get through the keto flu portion of it, if it does hit you, all of a sudden you come out the other side and you start to feel good and you start to feel more cognitive function. Everything's kind of coming together. That's how you start to know you're in ketosis or getting pretty close. Yes, you can test with keto strips. I'm going to tell you, and it may be the most unpopular thing, people will send me hate mail. They are not that effective, and they're open to interpretation. Early on, they might give you a pretty decent answer, but they're not the end all. You're basically wanting to go off of what your body feels. If you really, really want to invest, you're more than welcome to go and buy a glucose monitor or a ketone monitor. They are a bit more expensive. I'm telling you, you don't need any of that stuff to know that you're in ketosis. Your body will tell you. You will be able to tell the difference. But if peeing on a stick and seeing how purple it gets is good for you, go for it. I'm just going to tell you, I see a lot of people posting on Instagram the most purplest strip that they've ever peed on, and that's not the greatest sign. Over the top purple usually means you're dehydrated. So yeah, do with that information what you will. The last question I have on this particular video is, how do I know that I'm fat adapted? And fat adapted is a little bit different than just being in ketosis. So basically, fat adapted means that your body has finally understood how to use fat as its primary source of fuel rather than the carbohydrates. So what you're going to notice when you become fat adapted, it is like night and day. You have more energy and endurance than you've probably ever had before. So if you're already working out, all of a sudden you can work out longer and you're hitting better sets and you're running farther. Potato. Anyway, you're going a little bit better and further than you used to be able to go, and that's huge. Your sleep is just the sleep of a baby. You can sleep all through the night. Like I said, the cognitive function is just outstanding. You get a lot more stuff done. You're more productive. That is how you can tell that you're fat adapted. But one of the best signs of being fat adapted is that those cravings diminish. Like, I wouldn't have believed it ever. If you would have told me right before I started keto or any other time in my life that I was eventually going to not have cravings, I actually, as a matter of fact, I saw people say that and I was like, what a load of crap. There is no way that I'm ever not going to want to have a piece of cake or a donut or whatever. It's true though. Eventually you get to the point where it just doesn't even occur to you. The addiction has been broken. And as time goes on, you get further and further away from those cravings even taking hold. So those are some of the best answers I can give you. If you have any other questions, follow-up questions, please comment below. Even if you don't, you just want to say something about the video, hopefully it's nice. But please comment below. It really does help me when you guys do your comments or interactions or anything like that. I will see you in the next video, and we will answer several more of the frequently asked questions about the ketogenic diet.